Something huge seems to be unfolding right now in the Yankees organization, and the buzz around it is already setting social media on fire. Just recently, two key players were suddenly scratched from the lineup for the Scranton Rail Riders, the Yankees AAA affiliate, and that unexpected move has everyone speculating that a trade could be on the horizon. When you dig into the details, it starts to make a lot of sense why this is stirring so much attention. These aren't just any players. Everson Pereira, who's ranked as the 12th best prospect in the Yankees farm system, and BRYAN de la Cruz, a player who was recently claimed off waivers from the Atlanta Braves and has some major league experience under his belt. Both are looking to make a big impression in AAA and push their way onto the Yankees' major league roster. But being scratched right now feels like more than just a routine lineup change. If you've been following the Yankees closely, you know that July is the heart of trade deadline season, where teams start to shuffle their rosters, eyeing upgrades for their playoff push, or planning for the future. This is when subtle moves often hint at something bigger brewing behind the scenes. And the timing here is impossible to ignore. On the same day these two were scratched, there were other intriguing shifts up in the majors. Jazz Chisholm moved over to second base, and DJ LeMahieu found himself on the bench, sparking questions about the infield configuration and whether the Yankees are preparing for bigger roster maneuvers. When prospects like Pereira and De La Cruz suddenly vanish from a AAA lineup without explanation, and key players shuffle positions in the majors, the trade rumors ignite quickly. It's been well over an hour since they were removed from the lineup, and despite the curiosity, nobody close to the team has spilled any official reasons yet. Even insiders who usually have their fingers on the pulse of the AAA club are in the dark, which only adds fuel to the fire. If these scratches were just about rest or minor injury, that information would likely have leaked by now. Instead, the silence has made fans and analysts alike start putting together the pieces. Two young players, one a highly ranked prospect, and the other a depth outfielder with some big league experience. Both scratched simultaneously? It's hard not to see this as the first sign of a potential trade package in the making. The Yankees are known to be aggressive at the deadline, especially when it comes to addressing glaring needs like pitching or third base, which have been hot topics all season. Looking more closely at Everson Pereira, his numbers in AAA this year have been solid. He's racked up 15 home runs with 45 runs batted in, a total of 56 hits, and sports a batting average around 262. Those stats show he's doing his part at the minor league level, proving he can produce. But the challenge for Pereira has been translating that success to the majors. Despite his talents and potential, he hasn't yet carved out a definitive role on the Yankees' big league roster. At 24 years old and playing in the outfield, Pereira faces an uphill battle because the Yankees already have a crowded outfield situation with players like Jazz Chisholm, Cody Bellinger, Oswald, Peraza, and Aaron Judge competing for playing time. That logjam means the team might be more inclined to consider packaging Pereira in a trade to fill other roster holes, such as pitching or third base, rather than trying to squeeze him into an already congested outfield. BRYAN de la Cruz is a bit different. He hasn't had as much opportunity to showcase his abilities this year. With a batting average hovering around 191 and no home runs yet, he's been mostly on the taxi squad waiting for his chance. Still, his career stats show promise. A solid 251 batting average, over 200 runs batted in, and 177 runs scored in the majors. This experience could make him an attractive piece in a trade, especially for teams looking to add depth and versatility to their outfield or bench. His presence in a potential trade package would complement Pereira's prospect status, offering a mix of youth and experience that could help the Yankees land the kind of player they desperately need. The situation with the infield is also heating up. The recent reports about Jazz Chisholm moving to second base and DJ LeMahieu being benched suggest the Yankees are experimenting with their lineup to find the best fit. LeMahieu's benching, reportedly due to physical challenges adapting to third base, means the team is likely looking for a more reliable option at that position, with Chisholm now taking second base duties and Oswald Peraza potentially stepping in at third. The infield picture is still far from settled. These moves point toward a desire to shore up the hot corner, a spot the Yankees have struggled to fill consistently this season. That brings us to the looming question. Who could the Yankees be targeting? One name that's been floated around: Is Ketel Marte's teammate someone like Corbin Carroll or even a player like Ryan McMahon? But the whispers are loudest around the third baseman like Crean Hayes, Ketel Marte, or potentially even Eduardo Suarez from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Suarez's name is particularly interesting because while he's a highly sought-after asset, the Diamondbacks find themselves in a tricky spot, sitting just under .500 and within striking distance of a wild-card playoff spot. It's unclear if they'll decide to sell him at the deadline or try to keep him to help push for a postseason run. Arizona is just a couple of years removed from a World Series appearance, so their decision will likely depend on how realistic their playoff hopes are in the coming weeks. While speculation swirls, it's important to remember that trade talks are complex, involving not just what a team wants, but what the other side is willing to do. The Yankees may have their eyes on Suarez or another player to fill the third base gap, but the Diamondbacks might hold tight if they believe a postseason berth is still within reach. That makes these July days all the more fascinating, as every lineup change, every scratch player, and every positional shift could be a piece of a much larger puzzle coming together. It's also worth noting that the Yankees pitching staff has recently been impacted by injury. Clark Schmidt, a promising arm, has gone down with Tommy John surgery, and his absence leaves a hole in the rotation or bullpen. Kim Schrittler has been called upon to step into a starting role, adding another layer to the Yankees' roster challenges. And priorities at the deadline? If the Yankees are serious about making a run, addressing the pitching depth will be a critical part of any trade they pursue. As these pieces start moving, the Yankees fan base is on edge, watching every update, every rumor, every lineup announcement with anticipation. The scratching of Everson Pereira and Bryan De La Cruz from the Scranton lineup isn't just a minor detail. It's a potential signal flare that the first big move of this trade deadline season could be just around the corner, and the Yankees are positioning themselves to make a splash. So, what's next? Will we see Pereira and De La Cruz packaged together or separately? Will the Yankees swing for a third baseman who can solidify that position for the stretch run? Or perhaps they'll focus on bolstering the pitching staff given the recent injury setbacks. These questions will be answered in the coming days. But for now, the intrigue is real, and the excitement is building as the trade deadline approaches. Fans and analysts alike are bracing for what could be a very eventful July for the Bronx Bombers. The trade deadline always brings a whirlwind of activity around Major League Baseball, but this year the Yankees seem to be right in the thick of it. The unexpected scratches of Everson Pereira and Bryan De La Cruz in Scranton are more than just coincidences. They are pieces of a larger unfolding narrative that could redefine the Yankees roster heading into the final stretch of the season. Fans have been following the situation with intense interest, trying to read between the lines and anticipate the moves that the front office might be preparing. When you consider the team's current needs, the talent available, and the players who could be moved, the potential for a major shakeup is undeniable. Everson Pereira, at 24 years old, stands out as a player with tremendous upside. His performance in AAA has been steady, with 15 home runs and a batting average hovering just over 260, complemented by solid run production. His ability to generate offense in his youth make him a valuable asset for any team looking to build toward the future. However, the Yankees outfield is crowded with talent. Players like Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, and Oswald Peraza all competing for playing time. This makes it tough for Pereira to find a clear path to consistent major league action. As a result, he could be the kind of prospect the Yankees might use as trade bait to fill more pressing holes elsewhere on the roster. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. In the ever-spinning carousel of MLB trade whispers, a surprising name has started making the rounds, and is catching many insiders off guard. According to growing chatter around the league, BRYAN Hayes, the talented third baseman of the Pittsburgh Pirates, might just be a stealthy piece on the radar of the New York Yankees. While no official talks have been confirmed, sources close to the situation suggest that the Yankees front office is monitoring Hayes as a potential solution to solidify their infield for a postseason push. Hayes, widely respected for his elite defense and improving bat, has been a cornerstone in Pittsburgh's rebuild. However, with the Pirates still finding their footing in a competitive NL Central, the idea of flipping a high-value asset for a package of prospects or major league-ready talent is not entirely out of the question. And when the Yankees are involved, no name is too bold. The Bronx Bombers have been searching for consistency at third base, and while DJ LeMahieu and Oswald Peraza have both filled the void admirably at times, the possibility of adding a glove-first high-upside bat like Hayes is tantalizing. A move like this wouldn't just be about upgrading the defense, it could also represent a strategic shift toward building a more athletic, versatile infield core. What's fueling this speculation? Some scouts were reportedly seen at recent Pirates games, and there's been increased Yankees executive activity in Pittsburgh's direction. Coincidence, perhaps? Or the smoke before a blockbuster spark? Of course, Hayes is under team control through 2029, which makes any potential deal both complicated and costly. But if there's one team willing to take a big swing for the right fit, it's the Yankees. Whether this remains a quiet rumor or evolves into something more remains to be seen. But make no mistake, BRYAN Hayes to the Bronx is a possibility worth watching. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.